What's up, guys? It's Nate. Today we're going to be visiting the Confederate defenders of Fort Sumter Monument at the Battery, and we're going to be discussing the exigence, the audience, and the constraints associated with that monument. Let's get to it. Boom. So an important thing that needs to be mentioned about this monument is the historical context. So in the late 1800s to the early 1900s, the United Daughters of the Confederacy went through this thing called Monument Mania. So basically, they just went all around the South and were pressuring towns into putting up these Confederate monuments in order to sort of erase the true history of the South and the atrocities that occurred here and rewrite them as this glorified image of Southern glory and pride. So this monument, the Confederate Defenders Monument, was erected October 20th, 1932. It was sponsored by a wealthy philanthropist here in Charleston. It cost around $100,000 to create. The Daughters of the Confederacy were the ones who had the idea and made it happen. So, a couple more facts to consider. The Battery was actually not really the Confederates to defend in the first place, as I mentioned in my research paper. The fort was held by Union troops until 1861. Once South Carolina seceded from the Union, the government ordered that all Union forts be abandoned. The Union denied this. That was their property. They owned it rightfully. So basically, the South, they chased them out of there. They cut off all their supply lines and left these soldiers with no food or water or anything. So they basically had to leave at one point or another. And when they had about 2 or 3 days left of rations, the Southerners came in and attacked, and within a day or two they were all gone and they had taken it over. So kind of interesting if you ask me. All right, check this out, guys. That little island over there is Fort Sumter, the subject of all our discussions in this video. Now I'm going to zoom out, turn around 180 degrees. That is our monument over there. So I've gotten a little closer here, and as you can see, this is the monument itself. It's basically comprised of two cool-looking Greek figures. Our guy here is in the nude, spare the leaves covering his groin, wielding shield and sword, with this Athena back there behind him, as if she is being protected by him. But you see her arm is outstretched, reaching towards what you cannot see well, maybe you can see it, the Battery over there. Below it reads, "To the Confederate Defenders of Charleston, Fort Sumter, 1861 to 1865. A couple little inscriptions of soldiers at battle. It's kind of interesting, and not to mention the 7 steps leading up to this thing here, representing the 7 states to secede from the Union. So, yeah, there you go. So now it's time I answer the real questions. What are the exigence, audience, and constraints associated with this at the time of its construction? So, the exigence was the South. Its image had been basically destroyed, and the elite were very upset about that. They needed some way to cover that up. Conveniently, the Daughters of the Confederacy wanted to do all these monuments, so of course they backed that, because the people at the time, they would get this new image of what the South was. People would see that, then they'll kind of forget about the things that really happened and what the problems were. they'd be replaced with these images of glory and strength and this idealistic view as to what the South was, in order to sort of bring back those ideals of the South too. You know, the South was built completely on racism and hating people that aren't white. So um, the elite wanted that back. And I think putting up a beautiful memorial like that in honor of those values was just the way to do it. The audience was all the people in Charleston at the time who cared enough to go down and see this thing, or anybody who read about it in the newspaper. They would see, hey, look, you know, the Confederate guys, they weren't that bad. I mean, look, they're being represented by these astounding looking Greek figures, of course. Yeah, let's be like them again. So that was the audience. The constraints were the fact that it was 1932 when this happened, and well, it's kind of hard to get a message out. There's no TV, no radio. You got newspaper and guys like me who like talking about things like that. That's how the word of this thing spread. So it's very interesting. Today, if we wanted to convey the same message, I'm sure you do something very different, such as this video. I'm going to post it on the internet, and it could potentially get thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of views. Yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little video, and I will see you all in the next one.